What's up guys, I'm Mateus, and a few months ago I tried to learn some basic stuff in After Effects, but I wasn't very successful in this attempt. But I really want to do this animation stuff, and I started to think if there wasn't a way to do this kind of stuff with the knowledge that I already had. So today I'm going to show you how I do this animation using Lumion and Adobe Premiere. So before I start showing this stuff to you, I need to do a disclaimer, because perhaps the best situation is really try to do this kind of stuff in After Effects. Maybe you get there more possibilities, and maybe it's easier to do this kind of stuff there too. So I recommend you to watch some tutorials in After Effects of how to do this kind of thing. I know that Oliver from Upstairs have a video about basic stuff in After Effects, so maybe check his video out before and see what you think about After Effects. That being said, let's go into Lumion. The first thing that you're going to need here in Lumion is these two planes, because we need a solid background. Then you need to paint this with some color that is solid. The usual colors for these are the green or the blue that we see in those chroma keys and green screens that we see in cinema. So you just need to import these two planes, and in the material you just need to put the colorization in max and choose one of these colors that I mentioned. Now we need to import our human scale. So here in objects we have the people and animals. I'm going to select a person that has movement, like this one for example, and I'm going to put him right here. I'm also going to move him up so he doesn't cast any shadows in the floor. And this is pretty much done. We just need to go into movie, and here we're going to record him. I will position the camera in front of him. You can increase the focal length so you get less perspective. And I'm going to add camera keyframe. I'm going to add like 3 or 4, and as we can see we have this basic animation already. And the important thing here is that he is entirely inside this green color. I'm going to save it. I just make some adjustments here in the settings, like exposure, sharpen, and I use a real sky that there is no hard light hitting the human scale. So I chose this overcast real sky to do this. And I make some color correction. I increase the contrast and the saturation to make this green pop up, so it is easier to remove this background later in Premiere. Now that we have our animation, we just need to render it. So this configuration depends on how is your computer, especially the graphic card. If you have a sweet graphic card on your PC, you can use this in max quality and render it in ultra. My graphic card is not that good, so I'm going to use Full HD. And I think this is enough because we're not going to make something that will show the details of the human scale. But here it is up to you. So I have here the two things that I need to continue to make this animation. Not just the animation in Lumion, but you have to have like some facade or section, any 2D drawing that you want to animate. I have this facade that I'm going to animate it, and you need to open your Premiere Pro. I am really not an expert of how to do things here in Premiere, so I'm sorry if you do know how to do stuff here. I'm just doing things randomly and unorganized. So the first thing that I'm going to do is drop this facade here on the Premiere. I will drop here in the timeline so it maintains this radio of this specific image. And then I'm going to drop the video here in the project. So this is the files that we're going to use. Then I'm going to click and hold and drop the video here in the timeline. I'm going to click here, and with the right button I'm going to click unlink, and I'm going to delete this audio track because this video has no audio. And now I'm going to remove this green background, and we need to open this effects panel. If you don't see this panel, just go to window and effects. Here I'm just going to type key, and I will select this ultra key. I'm going to click and hold and drop here in the video. Nothing will happen now because we need to make some adjustments. To control these adjustments, we need to go into Effect Controls. Also, if you don't have this panel, just go to Window and Effect Controls. Here we have the Ultra Key options. And here we're just going to move the settings default to Aggressive. Then I'm going to select this tool, pick a sample of this green. Premiere just removed all the green stuff in the screen. And as we can see, we have this whole animation without the background. For now it's like this. Now we just need to position the human scale to match the facade. So here in Effect Controls yet, I'm going to change the position. And the scale. You can do this by changing these values here, or just click in the screen and do it manually. So I think this is quite close, and I'm just going to play to see. So as you can see, he's walking in the same place, and we just need to give him movement now. So I will position here in the spot that I want him to begin the walking, like something right here. I also think that his movement is quite slow, so I'm going to change it by clicking the right button and changing the speed duration. It is with 5 seconds, but I can put something like 4 seconds and hit OK, and his movement is already faster. So I'm going to position this thing in the first frame, and here I'm going to toggle animation. Just hit here, and this will make a keyframe. Then I'm going to drag this thing to the end, and I will change his position to the end of the walk. So I need to test. I'm going to put him right here and check if it is not too fast or too slow. So I think this is too fast. So I'm going to make his walk a bit smaller. I will select the keyframe that he made it, and I'm going to clear. So he is still walking in place, and I will try it again. Now it's quite better. So if you're satisfied with it and you want a human scale more realistic, you just need to press Ctrl M and export the video. But I like to do the human scales with a solid color. So to apply a solid color on the human scale, we have to go in Effects and look for Tint. And again, you just need to click and hold and drop in the video. In Effect Controls, we have the tint options, and here you just need to choose a color. So I'm going to, for something like reddish and pink stuff, I'm going to copy this code or whatever and hit OK. And in Map Whites, I'm going to just apply the Ctrl V to use the same color. So now my human scale is with a solid color. Now you just need to export this animation, and this is the part where you get creative, you know, just make your own stuff. And this is the thing that I invented to make this kind of stuff. So the thing is that I found a way to do something that I didn't know how to do, and I'm actually proud of it, because sometimes this is the way of doing stuff. We just need to invent something and try new ways of doing things. And not only the tools and the animation stuff, but this kind of representation is also a very nice way of showing things. You know, in these times where all the presentations are basic digitally, why not improve our way of showing things, you know? Like I have this example of a structured detail that I did in the last semester of college. I made this 2D stuff, but I thought it would be so much more understandable and interesting if I make an animation of this 2D drawing happening in front of the person that is watching. And I think it was worth it, you know? I make something new, I show things differently, and this is the thing, sometimes we have to do things differently for a change. So guys, if you like this video and learned something from it, consider subscribing, because I will drop some more tutorials like that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.